Okay, if no one else has to say anything, I guess we can move on to the third question, which is what has surprised you most about running your organization, and what are some of the most valuable lessons you've learned from it? Okay, I guess I can kind of start off. I think, I just became Gabby's like co-pres just recently, and I think leading a mixed club has taught me to kind of see other people's perspective and also understand that they have different perspectives based on their experiences and their identity, and that we won't always agree on certain things just because um, of how we are as people. And so I've really learned how to become patient and actually listen to other people on what they're saying, not just judge them kind of by their cover, like who they identify as, if that makes sense.
Um, okay, I can go. I've definitely learned how to listen. Like I used to, you know how like I used to be the type of person that just like says the first thing that's on their mind, like, like just like leap in with like no sense of like repercussion. But since I became a club leader my junior year, like like part of being a leader is being able to like step back and actually listen to people and then say, like, if you need to say something then say it, but if you don't then don't say it. Like, and that was a skill that was very hard for me to learn. And I am so thankful for the experiences that I've had as VP last year, under like the guidance of Shamila, who was our president last year. And I'm just like it's inspiring to see that like now I'm able to like kind of like teach my VP and my leadership team kind of how to do the same, when we have these like deep discussions. So yeah.
Um, Hi again, it's me. One thing that I was surprised about and I had to learn quickly was mediation. I wasn't expecting so many people to be extremely passionate about what shows to watch and who would win against who. Um, but being an anime and manga club, there's a lot of very strong opinions about things that don't seem to matter a lot. So coming to a compromise is a skill that I had to learn kind of fast. Um, However, it has created the club-wide meme of green apples versus red apples, which is nice because it's funny because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, sort of along that same sentiment. One thing that sort of surprised me about being a leader, Suhair kind of said it, is knowing when to step back and let other people sort of take the reins, and whether that's in event planning or just in basic club discussions, it's realizing that and emphasizing other people's skill sets. Some people are really good at public speaking, others are really good at organizing, and it's important to make sure there's a balance between all those skill sets. And I think that's especially emphasized in cultural clubs because we not only come from not there's not only the experiences that we share, but from those experiences are diverse skills like how to handle adversity, how to navigate yourself through troubling situations, or how to sort of self-advocate, and um, realizing that regardless of your position in that club, everyone's a member and everyone's voice is valid, and to make sure that you're not just representing your club as yourself, but you're representing your club as a whole. And that's one thing that I've definitely learned throughout this process.
I think that's such a interesting thing, but it's totally true. Is figuring out that balance. And I think another thing that I've thought about like just recently is kind of just like, there's kind of like the personal things that you kind of experience as a club leader, and also just like kind of like the structural things in terms of like organizing and like collaboration. But I think like personally, something that I didn't realize is like how much failure you experience. And like failure is a big word, but like how much failure you experience as a club leader, because you're like, you're here, you're like, I got a vision, everything's gonna be fine. Like freshman year, I was like, okay, everybody's gonna like go to Tilden, we're all gonna have a campfire, we're gonna be roasting marshmallows, it's gonna be like 30 happy people. Of course, I wasn't thinking about how are we gonna get 30 people to Tilden and how are we gonna get money from marshmallows, but yeah, it's completely irrelevant. But I think it's like one of those things where it's like you put so much effort and like so much care into your club, because like, you know, you're trying to create like a space of belonging for people like yourself. But then also like when people don't come, you're like, oh my God, like there's so many different places where, you know, you're kind of like this, the looming sense of failure of like all the different clubs before you that like tried to do the same thing. Cause I know there's a couple different mixed clubs that just like poof, like they just went gone. I was like, oh my God, like that's not where I want to be. I know Suhira was talking about this too, the MSA is like you put so much work that you want to make sure that it like continues. I think like the failure, feeling like you're letting down your like community is like something that is really real, but also it makes everything feel like, because you do with so much failure, you feel so much more connected, and it's like makes those moments where people actually do come to your club feel so much more special because you've gone through it all.
Yeah, personally, I feel like I've learned to be more assertive with our organizing our club and like what we do, our agenda. Because personally, if you know me, I'm not a huge public speaker. That's kind of ironic that I'm an APIC leader, but I also overthink a lot, and just thinking about like what we're gonna do in the club. Are people like enjoying our time there? It just makes me overthink a lot, but I've gotten better with sticking to our agenda and trying to like create a fun space in APIC. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree with Amanda. Like at the beginning, it was so hard to like act like a leader, if that makes sense, and like actually like get people to listen to you. But after a while, I think you just kind of allow yourself to be like a little more assertive because you aren't like a position of leadership. And also I think that like something I learned was you can't like force community to be made. Like you have to like wait for it to happen. You have to build it up over time.
Some words to add to that. Some things I've learned from my club are how people are able to work together. I think that's like one of the big moments where you realize that despite being sophomores, juniors, or even freshmen, you know, once you're in a club, you're kind of under all the same umbrella. So you don't have to deal with the social class or the status of like, you know, this person's younger than me, you know, I'm not gonna be friends with that person. But this is more, it's more of a space where everyone of the same background, same culture, or even the same grade can actually talk to each other and feel comfortable with it. And that's something that, you know, coming into as a club leader, it's something you learn and learn to adapt to. And that was really surprising to see how easy it was for also others to adapt to that.
Yeah, I know Noam didn't get to introduce himself, but he runs the Hispanic Engineers Club, which is super cool. And if you have anything else that you want to add onto your introduction, Noam, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I came late, but so I'm the president of the HES Club, and that's the Hispanic Engineers and Scientists, and we work with just helping students, you know, find their prospective majors and getting into universities.
Awesome. Cool. I'm like, this is so cool. It's so nice to be sharing this space with you guys.